Jason, Booger Mcfarland last night on Monday Night Football kind of went off on what he thinks the downfall of Dwayne Haskins was and the parallels to young players in the NFL, young African-American players in the NFL. There were parts that I liked. There were parts that I greatly disagree with. But I want to play it. We will not edit it. This is 2 minutes, unvarnished, and then you're
I have
good.
not heard this.
I know. Yeah. Many in America have not heard it.
Okay.
So this is Booger Mcfarland last night.
Fortunately, I've seen this too many times. Played in the NFL almost a decade. You played a long time. We've been around it for a long time. And oftentimes young players, especially, and I'm going to go here, especially young African-American players, because they make up 70% of this league. They come into this league and they ask themselves the wrong thing. They come into the league saying not, how can I be a better player? They don't say, how can I be a better teammate? They don't say, how can I be a better person? How can I get my organization over the hump? Here's what they come in saying. They come in saying, how can I build my brand better? How can I build my social media following better? How can I work out on Instagram and show everybody that I'm ready to go, but when I get to the game, I don't perform? Dwayne Haskins, unfortunately, is not the first case that I've seen like this.
Yes.
And it won't be the last. And it bothers me because a lot of it is the young African-American player. They come in and they don't take this as a business. It is still a game to them.
They look at it as football.
This ain't football,
Right.
man. This is a billion-dollar business.
Yes.
It's billions of dollars. They pay us a lot of money to talk about the game. So imagine what they pay these guys to play the game.
Yes. Yeah.
They play a child's game and get paid a king's ransom. And it bothers me because I saw a quarterback do it. I saw Jamarcus Russell do it. The number one pick in the draft, they gave him $40 million and he threw it down the damn drain because he didn't take it seriously. And it bothers me because there are a lot of jobs like this around. I'm going to tell you, I've been retired a while. It's not a lot of jobs like that around where they will pay you millions of dollars for virtually 6 months of performance. So my message to Dwayne Haskins, not just him, but the rest of the young players in the NFL, man, this is a game, but take it as a business. There are billions, with a B, of dollars at stake. And until you start approaching this game that way, until you start coming to work saying, you know what can I do to get better today? What can I do to make sure my teammates are better today? How can I put my organization first instead of my damn Instagram? Take it as a serious business, but too many times it's a game. We want a TikTok. We want to do all these different things. Man, do you understand how much money is at stake?
What do you think, Jace?
I don't know. First impressions are okay. Yeah, we know a lot of that. I didn't think it was groundbreaking stuff. I suppose he was firing some shots at Cam Newton as well with the whole Instagram stuff, without saying Cam. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but my first thoughts are okay. Thanks, Booger. Got it.
I think what he's doing is there's a little bit of old man yelling at the clouds, right? Like this Instagram stuff. I remember a tweet in the offseason. It's still a workout even if you don't post it on the gram, right? I'm in the lab.
Yeah.
But that is a very popular thing. I think the issue with it is he makes it about the black athlete, and it's like, look, it's not about the black athlete. Like first of all, Dwayne Haskins, do I think he didn't make it because of Instagram? I mean, I think taking a selfie instead of taking a knee when you win a football game is a pretty big indelible impression. But the big thing is he was not dedicated. He wasn't good enough at his job. Jamarcus Russell wasn't dedicated, wasn't good enough at his job. Mike Vick has admitted when he was in Atlanta, it was all on talent. He wasn't dedicated.
Can I take it away from the black athlete? And
I was going to get there too, right? I mean, Johnny Manziel, the story is the same. It is like Johnny Manziel was better off being popular than when he was actually being good at his sport.
All right. I got a better white quarterback. You ready?
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield came into this league with a chip on his shoulder, and I get that, okay? But he's out there on Twitter every day, scrolling. Now, this is early in his career, scrolling and liking tweets that are negative about him. He likes some of mine, the stuff that I had said on Fox Sports Radio about how you can't make Baker the number one pick, immaturity. Baker led the league in commercials last year. You know that? That's a fun stat. He led the NFL in commercials last year, and he sucked as a quarterback. And what did he say in the offseason? He said, you know what? I'm going to step away from the social media, and I'm going to focus. And what has happened this year? Baker Mayfield has made a massive leap. And if you remember, Doug, I took so much heat for this. Baker's first appearance, he comes in to spell and injure Tyrod Taylor in Cleveland. It was on Thursday Night Football against my Jets. As soon as Baker wins the game, he walks off the field, and his phone is in his hand as he goes to do the interview. You see him looking at his phone. And I said, boy, interesting that the first thing he does after a win is go right on his phone to jump on social media and tell everybody, hey, I won. Hey, let's take the selfies. And, man, Doug, I have never had that many people come after me before. The Pardon My Take guys took me to shreds on their podcast. I don't listen to that podcast, but I did listen to what they said. I mean, everybody's coming after me for it. And wouldn't you know it, Doug? 3 years later, it was 100% accurate. Baker was too wrapped up in posing for the gram and jumping on Twitter, and he needed to focus on the game, and he moved away from that this year, and he's become a better quarterback. So Booger, to that point, is right.
I do. I think the issue is that Booger circled it into the black athlete as this is just a black athlete problem, right? Where it's an all athlete problem, and it's a football problem. He's right. It is a job. It is a job, and I think it's. Look, I caught heat when I repeated the story of the Dwayne Haskins. They wondered if he was dyslexic. You know, when there have been people that have said that race played a factor in why the Bears selected Mitchell Trubisky instead of Deshaun Watson and Pat Mahomes. Nothing could be further from the truth, right? How do I know? Because I've actually talked to the Bears guys. They take me through the process of how you selected Mitch Trubisky, and in no part where they were like, well, you know, a black quarterback. Like, why would that actually matter? They want it. NFL GMs, front office people, scouts, what they want to do is they want to keep their job and get a better job, right? This is a very simple concept. And if a quarterback will help them do that, that's the quarterback that they want. And they had their reasons behind passing on Deshaun Watson was they didn't like his decision-making in the red zone, and they thought his knee, based upon their medical, would tear again. His knee did, in fact, tear again. And, oh, yeah, by the way, like Deshaun Watson has almost the exact same record. There's almost the exact same record with the Houston Texans since he got there, as opposed to the 4 years before he got there, including 1-2 in the playoffs. Before he got there, 1-2 in the 4 years before he got there, 1-2 in the playoffs since he's been there, and the regular season records are essentially identical. It's amazing. Look, they missed on Pat Mahomes.
Am I going to have to get upset? Was that Deshaun Watson slander I heard or no?
Yes. I mean, I don't know if it's Deshaun Watson slander. If you consider slander actual indisputable facts,
quarterback
that's
records,
not slander.
that's a stat now, Doug. Come on. Listen.
It's always
Bill
been a stat.
O'Brien totally,
it's always been a stat.
Royally. Yeah, it's an irrelevant stat. Quarterback records? Come on. Some jabronis were popping the stat.
What are you talking about? It's the whole stat that matters.
Yeah.
This is the whole stat that matters.
Oh
okay, so Matt Stafford is an all-time great quarterback.
How many guys start in the NFL? 11 on offense, 11 defense, but the quarterback record matters?
Yes.
Come on. That's juvenile stuff, Doug. You're way better than quarterback records. That's like saying, oh, Mr. Trubisky has more wins in his last 3 years than Deshaun Watson. He's a better quarterback. Or he's almost on the same level. Not even close. Stop. Okay? Deshaun Watson is surrounded by ineptitude. Bill O'Brien tore that roster to shreds.
No, he's not.
Oh, my gosh. Deshaun Watson should go in. I said he should have gone into that front office and said, get me the hell out of here or get me some help. This is a joke.
Wait a second. They did get him some help.
Oh my!
What they did was they traded their future for a left tackle. Okay, the idea he doesn't have
traded
help,
Hopkins for a running back who's a joke. Okay, that J.J. Watt rant. Go listen to that. Who do you think that's about? Like the entire Texans roster? Okay, there was an SI piece about this guy Jack Easterby
wait a second.
who helped tear that whole thing down. Watson is a great quararback surrounded by jokers.
He's not surrounded by jokers.
Oh my
gosh! They won the exact same amount of games before he got there when Bill O'Brien was there with Rick Smits, who was a terrible general manager, as they did in the last 4 years. They just have. Okay, so you can tell me that Bill O'Brien did everything to tear it down this year. He had DeAndre Hopkins in previous years with the worst division in football.
You do realize they have one of the worst defenses in the NFL this season. again.
I absolutely do. Absolutely do. Well,
Is that,
first of
and
all,
we're
where
blaming
does that
Deshaun
money?
Watson for letting Brandon Allen throw for 400 yards last week?
Well,
Brandon
hold
Allen,
on a second.
who served me
Hold on a second.
DoorDash 3
Hold on.
weeks ago at my front door, is now throwing for 400 yards against the Houston Texans defense because it's a joke. J.J. Watt lit up that locker room because nobody
He
cares.
did.
Nobody
Wait,
cares.
wait,
It's a
wait, he
terrible
did.
roster. To
Do you
blame
think-
Deshaun Watson is unfair, Doug.
Well, I didn't. First of all, I hate when you do this. This is what you do. I really dislike when you do this, okay? You take a statement and then you make it into something that it is not. I didn't say Mitch Trubisky is better than him, so don't say that I did. Don't say that I said I put all the blame on Deshaun Watson. But at the end of the day, in sports, okay, when you're a point guard, all that matters is your record. When you're a quarterback, all that matters is your record. And you can sit here and tell me
so what does
about
that
how
mean?
bad.
So what
Hold
does that
on,
mean?
I'm not done speaking.
So what does that mean?
When Bill O'Brien is vilified, but he's not vilified for being a guy who's a complete idiot. Okay, he's vilified because his ego ran amok. It ran out of control. By the way, David Johnson, who I would agree, the returns they got for the DeAndre Hopkins trade, I didn't like. Okay, David Johnson looked really good when he's
Against the
finally
Bengals,
healthy.
Yes, I got it. But what does that mean?
Okay.
But what
does it
what
mean?
do you mean by Mitchell Trubisky has as many wins as Deshaun Watson? What are you?
I
Just
didn't say
stating-
that. You actually said that.
So what were you saying with the records?
What I said was there is no difference in record of the franchise since you've had Deshaun Watson is viewed by many people as one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, and there is no record to point that out. If you look at Aaron Rodgers, every year he's healthy in the NFL, with the exception of the year Mike McCarthy got fired, his teams won 10 games, like everyone. The same thing with Tom Brady, the same thing with Drew Brees, the same thing with all these guys. Okay, Drew Brees had terrible defenses in New Orleans, right? Because they got punished for a Bountygate, right? But like they've never had these type of years in New Orleans. They just have not. They've not had this type of lean years. And now when surrounded by a good supporting cast, they've been one of the elite teams in the NFL. There isn't that with the Texans. Now, are there other factors at play? Sure. J.J. Watt kept getting hurt. He's gotten older. Whitney Merciless got older. What is it? Brian Cushing, whatever, got suspended because of PEDs. But the fact is that if you look at Deshaun Watson, they've done everything in their power. Everyone would regard Bill O'Brien as an offensive and quarterback guru, that he's done a great job with inferior talent at times. And he had DeAndre Hopkins, and he wasn't the only one who wanted to trade him. And, oh, yeah, by the way, if they could have gotten a better deal, they would have taken a better deal for DeAndre Hopkins. I think they didn't get enough, but apparently everyone around the league thought, man, you're overpaying for DeAndre Hopkins. So anyway, the point is this, that Deshaun Watson somehow is getting a pass, whereas no other quarterback gets a pass for their win-loss record. Remember, the whole thing with Dak Prescott is, yeah, I know the numbers aren't great, but at least they win. Of course, that went out the door because they weren't winning this year when he was putting up big numbers.
So I think
so
I know
the point is very simple, is that you can sit here and pound it in the table and tell me Deshaun Watson's great. He needs more help. Well, first of all, he might have been able to get more help if he didn't sign this gargantuan contract that wasn't hanging over their
He
head.
should sign a bad contract, Deshaun Watson. So, Doug, let me just see if so I'm not getting your words wrong, okay?
Correct.
So, basically, Tom Savage and whatever jokers the Texans had at quarterback won the same number of games as Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
Okay, but what are we taking from that? Like, that's a statement that's looking at numbers as very basic. Are you trying to say something bigger than that without saying it because there's no substance behind it?
What I'm saying is that Deshaun Watson is massively, massively overrated.
Oh,
and
my
what happens?
God. Okay. Got it.
Okay, so the four teams from the NFC that qualified for the playoffs already,
Right.
what do they have in common?
So we got the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
We have the Saints,
Mm-hmm.
Tampa,
Mm-hmm.
and Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they have veteran quarterbacks. Guys who have been in the league.
First ballot Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yes, guys
correct?
who have been in the league 7 or more years, 10 or more years. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go look at the AFC. Okay, the Bills. They have the one kind of unproven quarterback. Go ahead and give me the other teams that have made the playoffs already.
Kansas City.
That's a Hall of Fame
Patrick
quarterback.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he is amazing.
Yeah.
2, 3.
Colts?
Buffalo. Colts are on the outside, I think, right now.
The Colts are 10-5, so Tennessee's 10-5. Their quarterback's a future Hall of Famer. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers, yes, they are in. They were 11-0.
Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yes, they had a top 5 defense the entire season.
Okay, so the point is simply, and I was getting around to the point, the idea, we were talking about Booger Mcfarland's rant, and where I don't believe that race plays a factor in people's social media desires. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't. Well,
is there any study that tells you that black quarterbacks are more prone to be addicted to social media than white quarterbacks? No. It's a generational thing. And either guys are, as you pointed out, like Baker Mayfield grabbing your phone, and you were right, or that's basically what it is. Or other guys that are boring, Andrew Luck with a flip phone. Like, those dudes are boring. Trevor Lawrence with the Bible. Dude is boring. But you know what? He's locked in on football. It's a job. Now, you have to have both. You can't just be locked in on football as Cam Newton is now, but he can't throw a football, so it doesn't actually matter, right? But my issue was, like, look, when I said that the Bears, that race didn't play a factor in drafting Deshaun Watson, and they don't look as dopey as some would lead you to believe. And I'm not a big Mitch Trubisky fan, but a lot of it was the context of replacing Jay Cutler and what they thought they would get in a locker room guy in Trubisky that they didn't know if they would get with Mahomes, because Mahomes wasn't ready when he got to the league, and it took a year of seasoning behind Alex Smith that helped. And he's been surrounded by an unbelievable, not just coaching staff, but support staff in terms of his skill position players at wide receiver, tight end, and at running back. Like, all of these things kind of go into the factor, and their context that matters, that actually matters. And I don't believe race plays any sort of factor at the quarterback position. Either you can or cannot play. That's all anybody cares about.
Okay, so I think I've figured it out. I did look this up. I was stunned as well. Houston Texans did win a playoff game in 2016.
Yes, they were 1-2 in the 4 years in the playoffs before he got there. They're 1-2 in the playoffs since he's gotten there.
So the first playoff appearance, they got destroyed 30-0 at home by the Kansas City Chiefs. The next year, they had to play the Raiders. And I was like, how did they beat the Raiders? Oh, that's right. Derek Carr was injured late in the season, and the Raiders started, I believe, Connor Cook, a rookie out of Michigan State. Is that accurate? Or it was some backup. I don't know who it was. He was in way over his head, and the Raiders got buried. What happened the next week? Of course, Houston, they got destroyed by the Patriots. So Deshaun Watson gets to the playoffs in his second season. First season, he gets hurt. Second season, he gets to the playoffs. They lose to the Colts at home, 21-7. Andrew Luck was still there. Last year, Deshaun Watson orchestrates an incredible comeback, beats the Bills, takes a 24-0 lead against the Chiefs at Arrowhead. And the defense, which is a dumpster fire once again, gives up 51 points and loses to the eventual Super Bowl champs.
Hey, help me out here. Help me out here. When Kansas City, when they're down 24-0, right?
Yeah.
They scored to make it 24-7. Does Houston get the ball back?
I would assume they did off the
when
kickoff,
when it was then 24-14. Does Houston get the ball back?
They did, yeah.
When it was then 24-21, does Houston get the ball back?
I love this. So Deshaun Watson didn't score every single time.
He didn't score ever.
Yeah, no, they scored one more. They were up 24-0, and they had lost 51-31.
Right. Okay. So the point is that it's really amazing how Teflon that dude is. And what's crazy about it is
348 yards.
Bro, they had a 24-0 lead and got boat raced.
And Deshaun Watson's getting played, and he's the guy of all the people, not the coach.
No,
not
again,
the
this is the Jason McIntyre. This is the Jason McIntyre deal. Take what I said and then take it to a statement which no one ever said.
But you know what you're trying to say.
No, I'm not. You're making it so I'm trying to say it. But what I am saying is.
What are you saying?
If I may be so bold, that Bill O'Brien catches every bit of the heat for the collapse. No one ever says, like, hey, you know what? Deshaun Watson was the quarterback for all 7 of those drives. They got the football back and managed 1 touchdown after having a 24-0 lead. Okay, that is not all on Deshaun Watson, but it's also not all on Bill O'Brien, and it's not all on the defense. It is a team game. It's supposed to be the ultimate team game, and quarterback's record matters, and he was the quarterback. Like, look, Garoppolo collapsed in the Super Bowl. They had a lead. All he has to do is complete a couple. He has Emmanuel Sanders wide open. He overthrows it. If he underthrows it, it's PI. He misses. He misses time and again. People give Garoppolo heat for that collapse. No one has ever said, like outside of me, that, hey, Yeah, is it Bill O'Brien's fault? Sure. It's also Deshaun Watson's fault.
So when Deshaun
that they
Watson
had to
can
collapse.
get you 31 points on the road in a playoff game, he's done his job.
No, he hasn't.
You do your job on defense
if
and
you
get a
haven't-
friggin' stop. 31 points on offense. I've done my job. Can the defense get one stop? 51 points, Doug? And Deshaun Watson's his name should not be anywhere attached to that loss. That is not remotely on him.
That's
Don't
the
compare
dumbest
Jimmy
thing I've ever- that's the
Garoppolo
dumbest thing I've ever
struggling to
heard.
score. The 49ers had 20 points in the Super Bowl. Yeah, they did lead, but Kansas City could
Is
had
Deshaun
Pat
Watson
Mahomes-
is Deshaun Watson having a good year this year? He's got 30 touchdowns, 6
solid.
interceptions.
He's having a solid year. He's having a
He's-
better
wait,
year
wait.
than Ben Roethlisberger.
He's completing 70% of his passes.
He's also throwing to
30
Kiki
touchdowns.
Kuti and Chad Hansen.
Hold on, but no, you told me that their team stinks. You
They
told me
do
he's not
stink.
surrounded
They
by
have
players.
nobody but Deshaun Watson.
Oh,
Doug,
but
you're
he's got
looking at the
30
basic
touchdowns.
stats, man. You gotta come on, level up and
I
go
know.
look at the advanced numbers.
Yes,
Deshaun Watson is a
here's the
top 10
advanced
quarterback.
Here's
this
the
year.
advanced. Here's the advanced. No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
They're 4-10, dude. 4-11. Excuse me. 4-11. He ain't no top 10 quarterback at 4-11.